Will went off to teach a lesson at CCM, and can you see my breath? I got a little energy, so I'm going to start tearing out the walls where we're going to put the outlets. All right, I did it. This is the hole. That is the area that I cut out of the wall where we got to chase the wires down to the basement and run the electric when it's that time. But in the meantime, I've got to save all these lath strips and clean up some of this plaster. A couple things. One, if you're doing plaster work, get yourself a good mask. We've done this like, I feel like pretty much like idiots the whole time with those cheap masks that are, you know, $2 for 5 or something like that. This mask was $35 and it has truly made a huge difference. So if you're ever dealing with plaster or a really dusty situation, get one. They have them at Harbor Freight, and the additional filters they said are available at Home Depot. This is a really quick tutorial on how plaster is done. What they do is they put the studs up and then they put the lathing strips on top of it, and the lathing strips lath strips, I'm not exactly sure what that word is, kind of act like mesh, and they put the rough layers of plaster on first, and it gets all in between the cracks you can see right here. And then there's some finishing plaster and all kinds of other stuff. But what happens is all of that plaster that's back here falls down into the lowest place it can go. So what I just did was clean up all the plaster and then cleaned out the hole where the wire chase has to go. It's really cold, my nose is running. Couple of things. One, there is in this house as well as our house, zero in the way of insulation in these walls. It's whatever. Well, so I got the number 2 done, and this was where a plug previously existed. Now we're leaving, you can see it right here, there's the box and the wire that used to run to it. All the wires are cut off in the basement when it was stolen, when the copper thieves came in, but we may, this is a rarity because all the knob and tube and the way you secure wires, but what we might be able to do is use that to pull the wires through into the basement through where it already was, a hole was cut. It gets kind of complicated and I don't really know all of the details yet, but hopefully what we're able to do is pull the wire from the existing wire down into the basement. Now on to number 3. I think I did enough work for tonight. That was about an hour's worth of work. You can see that hole and that hole and that hole. There it is. So 2 of those are high because they're going to go above the countertop, and the measurement for that is like somewhere around 42 to 44 inches. And this hole over here behind me is going to be a regular plug, you know, that's in the wall, and they are all about a foot up off the ground. These on the taller ones are going to be easy. This one over easy, I say easy. This one over here is going to be harder because that's where the floor joist runs. So we've got to be able to locate it, and that's going to be the tough part, is like figuring out exactly where that is. But I think we'll be able to do it. And my lips are cold, which is why I'm having trouble talking. It is minus, like, it feels like minus 10 degrees in Cincinnati right now. So I'm gonna call it quits and go back inside and wait for my husband to get home with the promised Wendy's. Yes, the promised Wendy's. Good night.